President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for Paris to join his counterparts from across the world at the Paris summit for the new Global Financial Pact. Tinubu's official Gulfstream jet departed the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport Tuesday for his first foreign trip as president. The two-day summit, which will be hosted by President Emmanuel Macron of France, will be held at Palais Brongniart from June 22nd to 23rd, 2023. According to a statement signed by the Special Advisor, Special Duties, Communication and Strategy, Dele Alake, the Pact places vulnerable countries on the priority list for support and investment following the devastating impact of climate change, energy crisis, and after effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The two-day summit running from June 23rd or 22nd to 23rd will consider opportunities to restore fiscal space to countries that face difficult short-term financial challenges, especially the most indebted. Leader will also mobilize innovative financing for countries vulnerable to climate change, foster development in low-income countries, and encourage investment in green infrastructure for the energy transition in emerging and developing economies. Nigerian business tycoon Aliko Dangote has congratulated President Bola Tinubu on the recent strides achieved by the new administration, especially the removal of fuel subsidy. Dangote made this known in a chat with State House correspondents after he met with the president in his office on Monday alongside the co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bill Gates. According to the businessman, the expectation is that the removal of fuel subsidy will open up better financial capabilities for the country to invest in other areas, such as education, as well as advanced development among citizenry. Dangote further stated that the visit was an opportunity to brief the president on the activities of the Bill Gates and Aliko Dangote foundations as they seek more commitment from the president, particularly towards advancing the nation's health sector. In his response, the president's pledge said his administration will do all that is required to make their work in Nigeria and Africa successful. Federal government representatives and the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress on Monday resumed talks on steps to mitigate the effects of the removal of fuel subsidy by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. Now, briefing State House correspondents after the meeting, the government and the organized labor said they have agreed to set up a steering committee that would receive reports from other subcommittees within 8 weeks. Recall that the organized labor had on June 5th suspended its planned nationwide strike over the removal of subsidy following the establishment of a joint committee to review the proposal for any wage increase or award and establish a framework and timeline for implementation. Present at the meeting are the delegation of the Nigeria Labour Congress led by its president Joe Ajero, a delegation of the Trade Union Congress led by its president Festus Osifo, the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, Special Advisor to the President on Revenue, Zacchaeus Adedeji, among others. President Bola Tinubu on Monday in Abuja called for an equitable balance between fossil fuel and green energy in the race for energy transition. He also urged the United States and other developed nations not to forget Nigeria and Africa's challenge with poverty as the world transitions into clean energy. Tinubu made the call during a meeting with United States Assistant Secretary of State, Bureau of Energy Resources, Geoffrey Pryat, at the State House Abuja. Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Communication and Strategy, Dele Alake, in a statement, said Tinubu presented his perspective to the U.S. delegation on the role of Nigeria as an oil-producing country and the importance of revenue from fossil oil to national economic well-being. Earlier in his introductory remarks, Group Managing Director of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, told the president that the energy industry in Nigeria had been engaging the U.S. Department of Energy on the energy transition. The federal government and the Enugu state government will partner to complete and operationalize the international wing of the Akanu Ibiam International Airport. The duo also plan to build a cargo terminal to boost the state and nation's economy and tourism capacity. The Managing Director of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Mr. Kabir Mohammed, and Governor Peter Mba made this known after a tour of the ongoing International Terminal building and the proposed site for the International Cargo Terminal on Monday. Speaking to newsmen after a courtesy visit to the governor and tour of the facility, Mohammed commended Mba's zeal and sense of urgency towards the actualization and operationalization of the two terminals. Also speaking, Mba said the operationalization of the international terminal and construction of the cargo terminal and warehouse at the airport was critical to Enugu's drive for a $30 billion economy. Barely 1 week after the Central Bank of Nigeria floated the Naira and directed commercial banks to sell foreign exchange at market-determined rates, airfares on Nigeria routes to various destinations across the globe have skyrocketed as exchange rates for tickets pricing hit 702 Naira per dollar. In previous month, the energy exchange rate adopted by international airlines for ticket pricing had risen consecutively from about 445 Naira per dollar to about 660 Naira per dollar about 2 weeks ago, as against the current 702 Naira per dollar. Reacting to the current developments, the president of the National Association of Travel Agents of Nigeria, Susan Akporaye, lamented that passengers would suffer the most from the increment. And now, Opa Head Gombe pegs fertilizer at 19,000 Naira per bag. This and more after this commercial break.